Goals with Soul, the podcast for visionary coaches and entrepreneurs, building your business with inspired action. In alignment with your mission and authentic message, so you can create impact for your soul clients and feel lit up every day. I'm your host, Jo Ingram, married mum of 3 daughters from London and a former ad agency director turned business coach and strategist. In Goals with Soul, we blend revenue generation with energetics, marketing strategies with pranic healing, and ambitious business goals with our soul's desires. If you're looking to build your business with less efforting and more ease, this is the podcast for you. Let's dive in. Welcome to Goals with Soul. I'm Joanna Ingram, and today we are talking about how to energetically attract premium clients. Now, if you're tuning into Goals with Soul, in all likelihood, you are an intuitive, perhaps coach, healer, entrepreneur, or someone in a similar field that believes very strongly in the field, the energetics of connection, and the fact that a lot of the reality that we live in, and therefore the results that we attract, is connected in some small or usually large part to the energy that we're exuding and the frequency of which we're on. So in today's episode, I'm going to break that down specifically around the idea of attracting premium, high value, high frequency clients, which I know for many of you, like myself, and it has been over the last, 4 years of running my business, a core consideration, because that's the lifeblood of our businesses. And more importantly, it's what generates that joy and enthusiasm by creating the powerful and potent transformations for our clients. And of course, paying the bills, income, often overlooked, but always necessary. Money is also an energetic transaction. So let's dive in. Now, if you've been working with clients that aren't lighting you up, so you're feeling drained after the sessions, and of course, charging less than you would like, it's definitely time you are being called to start attracting more elevated premium clients. And as you're an expert at your specialism and you're energetically attuned to your gifts, you're in a unique place right now to help those high-level clients to get those phenomenal results they most desire. So why is it then that it's sometimes so hard to repeatedly call them in with your content and your marketing? I'm going to break it down for you. When you work with clients who are operating at a denser frequency than your natural and desirable level, as an empath, you align with that vibration. Okay, so think of an example in your business working with a client who's at a denser frequency, who's operating at the emotional equivalencies of doubt and struggle and frustration. You know that as an empath, it's really easy to be dragged into that frequency of emotion too. But you also know, because you're a high achiever, I know that you're driven and impassioned and you value excellence just as much as I do. So you want the best outcomes for your clients. So what do? You start pulling them along to get results. Oh my gosh, it's so hard being so darn competent and caring so much. Because of course, when we're that kind of person, and this has been such a difficulty for me, is that what I want to do is I want to drag my client over the finish line, because I want excellence. I want them to get the results they came for. I even start feeling guilty if they are not showing up and doing the work. And so in pulling them along to get results, we're doing all sorts of misaligned behaviors behind the scenes of our business. Good example, staying on the call well after the session should have ended. Just keep going. They've got another question. You think, they just need extra help. I'm obligated. I need to stay here. I need to just keep going. Or maybe it shows up as constant emailing back and forth to allay their fears and their doubts. Perhaps even in those emails or voice notes, you're repeating what they already know, something you've already told them. And it can be so frustrating, right? Or perhaps it's for you working late into the evening to do more and then over-efforting for these unappreciative folks who just want more. I know when I worked with one of my former clients, one of the things she said to me was, no matter how great the results were she was creating for her client, all they seemed to say to her is they wanted more. It's like, great, you've created an amazing pipeline and a steady stream of new clients. Now I want more. Great, you've added loads more revenue onto my bottom line. How can we make more? She just never felt that they were appreciating her. And that had a massive impact on how she felt in doing that work with them. You know, this is where I want to explain about how dangerous feeling obligated and resentful is, because that's the reality, right? As all these examples, and I'm sure that you can think of more that are specific to you and your business, you fall into the same frequency as I'm describing here, obligation and resentment. You're just wondering why those clients don't take responsibility for their results in the way that you do when you work with your coaches and mentors, right? And this obligation and resentment is dense. It's dense, heavy emotions that match with dense frequencies. And it's that low level vibration that then is transmitted when you reach out to attract new clients. Okay, are you following this? Because this is the important bit here. When you're working behind the scenes and you're working with dense emotions, particularly obligation and resentment, which no shame on this, it's really, really common. And the more driven, the more high achieving, and the more wedded to excellence you are, the more likely that you are to fall into this. And, you know, let's be honest. Sometimes we recognize this is a pattern for ourselves, not just within our businesses, often within our family constellations. We're also showing up and doing more, playing the martyr, being the only person that can solve the problems. And of course, obligation and resentment are things that we might be really, really familiar with. But we're looking right now at the business and how those ways of behaving can massively impact your ability to attract and retain high-level premium, high-frequency clients. And to recap, that is because as you are feeling those low-level vibrations from the actions that you're taking in your business, they are being inadvertently, accidentally, unavoidably transmitted when you're reaching out to attract new clients. And that's what we're talking about in our marketing and in our content. And that is why one coach might be phenomenally successful with a particular swipe file, and then you try and use it and it just falls flat. Now, I could unpick that, and obviously there are a lot of reasons, but one key reason that's often never discussed is the fact that you're in different frequencies when you're actually transmitting that message, because we're in the field all the time, we're all connected. And I believe that as a copywriter and as a messaging coach, when we transmit through our marketing with words, we are simultaneously transmitting with our energy through the field. So if you think about it in that way, it's really easy to understand why when we're feeling low-level vibrations and we go ahead and we do our marketing, instead of attracting high-level, high-frequency clients, no wonder we're attracting more of the same needy and doubtful clients that we've already got too many of in our business. And that is because you're simply attracting more obligation and resentment. Now, how do we switch that up? Because like if you're vibing with this, you're like, yeah, I get that. But like, what's the easiest way? And there are so many ways. If you're already in energetic practice, you might be a healer yourself. You're going to have a lot of ways. Perhaps now this realization is so clear to you to shift those energies. But I know from my own experience, you know, moving into trying to master meditation and so on, although incredibly valuable, and I myself as a breathwork facilitator understand how amazing these modalities can be. There are also ways that we can make shifts dramatically and instantly in some cases through taking different actions. Now, as a marketer myself with over 20 years of experience, I've learned that when you combine proven marketing strategies with energetic principles, the shifts magnify to attract those clients in the highest frequencies. When I talk about higher frequencies, I mean joy, appreciation, enthusiasm, trust, and so on. And that starts with what you're implementing, the actions you're taking inside your business, because that is what is creating the energetic frequencies inside of you. So when I work with a client, I delve into their behind the scenes reality to find the mismatched behaviors that are keeping them from attracting more of their most empowered clients. Too frequently, they are too close to their own business to see that they've blocked the results that they most want. And they're absolutely incredulous at the impact that my directions have created. Like my client Cara, so I recognized her source of obligation. I mentioned her earlier, and how her clients, in fact, her two most key clients, just were dragging her down. She was working so many hours and they lacked appreciation for the amazing results that she created through her specialism. So I recognized the source for her obligation. She said to me at the time, Joanna, these clients, they pay my bills, I don't know what I would do about it. Now, I never believe in pushing anyone to make decisions or take actions that aren't aligned with them. And I simply offered her an invitation to sit with that feeling, understand where the obligation resentment was coming from, and to just literally hold that, knowing that she and I would unpack it in our next session, and we'd be able to ascertain what the right next steps would be for her. But before we even got to speaking next, she got in touch over Voxer and she said to me, I have just fired my most demanding client. After it became so clear to me, there was no way that I was going to continue for a minute longer. Now, it's an uncomfortable space to be in, but I know, because I've seen it before, and this exact thing happened for Cara, is that when you create space for what you really want and change your frequency, which she changed immediately as soon as she got rid of that client. Suddenly that obligation resentment disappeared. She felt empowered. And then literally within the next 2 weeks, she immediately attracted 3 new premium high vibe clients into her new group program that she never believed she could call in. 3 new clients into a program that required far less effort from her, created no resentment or obligation. What an incredible switch. And, in the months since then, she's gone on to fill that program full of clients she loves to work with. So remember that marketing is an extension of your energy. If you continue to work in ways that the most empowered clients don't want, need, or value, you're going to keep connecting with those who match the lower behaviors instead. And conversely, of course, if you step into stronger boundaries and value and express your authority and expertise, you're going to be attracting those high vibe clients that mirror that. Your content, your marketing is a divine combination of words and energy that speaks to the souls of the clients that you really want to work with. And that's why I just adore the specialism that I have, which is elevating your words and energetics to align with premium clients. Now, you can learn more about the way I work in my invitation to work with me, which I include in my show notes. But importantly, tune in to the next episode for part 2, because I'm going to be diving into that aspect of articulation and closing that gap between the 2 ways, the energy and the articulation, that you'll need to attract premium clients on repeat. So I'll see you in the next episode, and until then, have an inspired action week. Take care. Bye now.